good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo today, and today you're joined by me, Daniel. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. So yeah, I'm an illustrator here in New Zealand creating art. Kind of the side at the moment, I'm creating these children's books at the moment. I'm working on this big 14-page children book, so it depends on how you kind of see big books. And it's got a bit more going on than simple book as well. It's got 2 characters, so it's kind of simple, but I don't have a lot of time in the world to create this. But yeah, welcome today. I do these videos like twice a week. Oh yeah, twice a week per se. I have a weekly stream on a Tuesday that doesn't get on YouTube. It's just me streaming on Twitch. So if you feel you like these kind of videos, you like videos where I'm just like chatting and painting at the same time, live painting I'm usually doing on those Tuesday streams, then come join in. It's free, it's there, and I just usually chat about whatever is on my mind. Similar to what I do on these streams, but a little bit different. It's just a chill stream usually. I just kind of chat, and sometimes I don't even feel like chatting. It's just painting and things like that. So I just keep things going and keep that going, and I get better at doing these videos and these chats. A bit more better with doing that every Tuesday. So usually I have an artist in, and I haven't had them in for a little while now, probably a month or so. So yeah, that's what's been happening. I've been just really busy getting work. I haven't found like a lot of time to find artists to chat to, and yeah, just getting hold of a lot of artists. I want to revisit some of the artists I have talking to, get a hold of those guys as well and see if they'll like to do another stream and things like that. But it's okay because I keep these streams up, regardless of if I've got an artist in or not. And I always have something new to talk about. There's always something that comes up in some video that I've watched, or maybe a Reddit post, or just art sites in general and things like that. That I want to give my 2 cents to, and I have kind of knowledge on. Today I wanted to talk a little bit more about doing illustration and creating work while you're tired, when you've got also when you're like sick and got a cold and things like that, getting through it and all that kind of stuff today, to cover some of that things, because I have dealt with that, deadlines, having been sick, or also being really tired at doing other things, and also coming back and actually getting things done. Like you might be a full-time worker, or you may have a full day of course or something like that, and then you have to get back to home, have tea, and then do like more illustration and stuff, and by then you feel like really tired. You may not feel like illustrating, and you've got a deadline like tomorrow morning. So I know the struggles of how that feels. And I have it these days. I have a full-time job, so I have to do my work at these hours, like between after 7 p.m. at night till like 11 p.m. Sometimes I might stay up a bit later. I used to have it the other way around, so basically I'll go to bed a little bit earlier, and then I'll get up like an hour, 2 hours before work, and then do some illustration for an hour or two, get ready for work, and then go to work. A last minute get ready and go to work, basically. But yeah, that's kind of what my routine was, but now it's the opposite way around. So now I'm staying up later, and then getting up a little bit later, but just get ready and then go to work, basically. and that's pretty much all I have time for in the morning. Also dealing with Inktober this month. I mean, it's awesome having, those days where um, I've got nothing on. My lunch break is free. I've got an hour to do my Inktober and then draw tomorrow's Inktober. But when it's busy and also on the weekend as well, I've got to do the Inktober during the time I would be painting. So it does become a little bit hard, but I do get it done. And I still, manage to seep it in somewhere. But it's been challenging, and discuss like more of that kind of thing in the future when I do the Ink Toba video, because I'm doing that this year. So that's kind of a bonus from it. I'm doing these drawings, and then at the end of the month, I get a video out of it. That's, free of me having to paint these paintings every week, and keep these paintings going. Because I like to do that. I'd rather like have kind of me painting in the background while I'm chatting, rather than like live drawing, because with live drawing there's only so much I can do with 45 minutes. Also, I get distracted talking, and then I don't do too much illustration, and the opposite way around, do a lot of illustration but less chatting. um those kind of things happen, so it's challenging. There's a lot of people that do it well, and it's awesome to see those people do it well. I guess that's another reason why I'm doing those Tuesday streams, to get better at live painting. Because I started this channel like with me basically live painting some creature stuff, and it would be like 3 parts because I didn't get the piece finished within like three videos or something like that. And yeah, I wouldn't get too much done within 40 minutes, especially with me chatting about other things. Um, so that's why it kind of developed into these videos you get these days. I also have weekly tips, which is not easy to keep up with as well. you know um but that's been worth it. It's great to, just have my opinion. And sometimes I cross over things, like I've done shading before, and I did another shading video last week. It's similar but different, but it's cool just to have a different kind of take on it. There might be something new I have to say now, because I'm definitely, 6, 8 months ago, I wasn't as good as now, like I've definitely leveled up a little bit. I'm not saying that, or to my own horn, that I'm that great. I've still got a long way to go, but I feel like that I am improving, which is always a bonus. I feel like that's the way I feel about my art. It's always constantly, slowly improving over time. I'm not worried about it being like, oh, this is the best piece in the world. I'm happy with it. I mean, I get happy with it, and there's always going to be something I can improve on and get better at. But yeah, I just got to be happy with what I've got with each piece. So yeah, I've been also, now I'm starting to get the sniffles. So if I do sound a little bit sniffly, or yeah, I go quiet for a little bit, it might be because I'm doing my nose or something like that. Yeah, I have to do these streams kind of to keep them going. And I've had to deal with that. I've had a few streams where I have had kind of a cold talking to people. Not too bad, but yeah, it's been interesting trying to get it all done and get that done as well. And you can't kind of reschedule it. You could, but it makes things so much harder to reschedule it and things like that. And yeah, you don't get that weekly stream. So I've really got to have that stream no matter what, in a way. So it makes it hard to keep that up. I mean, I should make like backup videos or something, you know, if I do have a week when I'm absolutely like sick on a Friday or Saturday that I can't do the stream, um, to have a still have a video that goes up, you know, have a backup video. You know, sound like absolute crap one day or lose my voice or something like that. You know, I should have like a backup stream that's just a random stream um at some point. But you know, doing that, it also would take a little time to do that. Um, so it makes things hard. You know, I try and plan things. You know, if I am not feeling that great on a Friday, usually I like to get the stream over and done with Friday night, especially if it's just me. Um, just that way I don't have to worry about the stream on the weekend. It just goes up gradually. And yeah, it's happy as Larry, just painting the whole weekend, sorting out next week's stream stuff and things like that. But yeah, I don't have to worry about the stream. Um, which is good. I always like to do that kind of thing, especially like I said, if it's just me, I can work it out to be that day. But if I feel like absolute crap, um, or I can't talk or anything like that, I will reschedule it to a Saturday and be like, I'll try it tomorrow. You know, like which I've had that. You know, absolutely sounded not that great on the Wednesday or whatever for to do a weekly tips. So I was like, nah, I'll see if I can get it done, record it like on a Tuesday or something, like the night before. You know, it doesn't take too long to get it all together and then put it up on YouTube. It you know, sometimes preparing those weekly tips can be a little bit, you know, thinking about what to do and then also what visuals I'm going to use and what kind of um how I'm going to present it as well. Those things might take me a little time sometimes. Um, Sometimes it just takes me 5 minutes to whip together. Especially if I feel like crap, you can see probably the ones that I've definitely just put together as a weekly tips, you know. Um, but each one I feel has something to offer in a way. Say something new. It gives you a little tip that you can take away, uh, bring it into your art and do things with it, all sorts of stuff, you know. There's also sorts of things I've delved into, like I've delved into shading, idea. I think I'll do one about like idea generation as well. I haven't like gone into that, like how to create your ideas, like develop them, get a developed drawing, and then kind of take it into full rendered stage, kind of a thing. Haven't kind of talked about those things, so there is like some areas, and you know, doing it each week, coming up with ideas is always hard, especially fresh ideas. You know, like I've delved into shading before, so I've done a few videos about shading now. So going a completely new area is quite hard to suss out. But once you do like find a new area to do, then it opens up like a whole like another region of areas that you could be like, oh, okay, I haven't tried this, haven't tried that. Um, yeah, which is, you know, a great thing to do, and it's a good thing like when you're learning, you know, you delve into like texture and you learn how to paint wood, and then you know that goes into to bridges that you cross into, and you go into being like, oh, now I want to learn, I know how to render wood, I want to now paint and create um you know, the texture of the floor, carpet, or grass, or you know, you go into different categories when you've gone there. You usually, if you want to explore, usually, you know, do that kind of thing. Once you've crossed a bridge into that area, you'll go into similar kind of areas. Um, but it's always hard to cross the bridge sometimes, you know, and be like, oh, when you know, you might be a creature artist, or you might be a CG artist, and then you delve into like illustration, or the opposite way around, you're an illustrator and you delve into like CG kind of FX, 3D modeling stuff. And it just opens a lot of doors of learning and things like that, and it's great. But yeah, anyway, you know, it's, you know, I've been doing these streams every two once a week, as I say. I was going a little bit of a tangent. Trying to recatch myself here. Yeah. So, you know, I was discussing a little bit about you know, working while you're tired. It's always a hard thing, you know. I come back from work some days and I'm not so tired than others. It depends on what I'm doing, you know. My job is not exactly tiring, for me anyway. It could be for some people. Um, but it's not too tiring. There are, you know, I don't have to like lift a lot, I guess. You know, I don't have to lift. I don't have to like run around and do a lot of work. There is, you know, a fair bit of work to do, obviously, but it's not tiring. It doesn't like make you sweat or anything like that. So when I do come home, I'm not too tired. You know, I'm not overworked from the day or anything like that. There are some days that are more tiring than others that I've, you know, had to do a bit more than usual. Um, but you know, usually it's pretty relaxed. I don't have to um get home and I'm too tired. But some nights I am. By the time I get to my computer, it's like 8 o'clock, and it's like, oh, I'm over. You know, I'm over it. I just want to relax and kind of do my own thing. I just want to, you know, game, or just. Sometimes it's like, yeah, I want to draw, definitely. But other nights, yeah, I don't want to do much. Um, and you know, regardless of how I feel on a Tuesday, at some point that's my streaming night that I have to stream. These weekend streams that I do, obviously it could be any point, it could be Friday, depends if I have an artist in, but definitely on the Tuesday night, regardless of how I feel, usually I have to do a stream. And there's only a very rare chance that I'll cancel it. Um, I have only cancelled it once. Only because, you know, I had a stream Wednesday morning. So I decided not to have the Tuesday stream at night, just have the Wednesday morning stream with an artist. That's the reason why I decided not to have it and cut it out. Because that would mean me streaming at night on that Tuesday and then streaming in the morning. So it kind of, you know, I don't want to do it twice in a row, within, you know, those kind of 12 hours or something. So yeah, I just decided not to do that. Cancel one. That's the only reason why I cancelled one. Um, you know, had a little bit of a cold and I haven't cancelled it, and things like that, and I've been like shattered and tired and everything, you know, having a long day or something like that, and I still did the stream, and sometimes I don't even feel like painting and I still do the stream and I get some painting done, you know. It's great to get through it. Yeah, it's definitely a battle. You know, you gotta have something like that to keep you going and keep you creating and painting and things. It's not, you know, it's not easy to keep it up. You know, doing that Tuesday stream definitely gives me that little bit of a push to be like, well, I'm tired. I don't want to do anything. I just want to blah blah blah, and then the Tuesday stream is just kind of like, I've got to do this. I've actually got to paint here, and it forces me to actually paint. It's kind of silence that voice that's all like too lazy to do this. It just silences that voice a little bit for me. And you've got to have that. You've got to have something to silence that little voice in you that's saying you're too tired for this. You're too lazy. I mean, I understand. People need sleep. Yeah, but I only really need, my 8 hours or whatever. I don't need 12 hours, I don't need an excessive amount. I need enough, obviously. Um, but yeah, it's not like I'm still up at midnight or just after, 3 up till 3 o'clock in the morning, still painting and things like that, forcing myself. No, it's more like, I'm just trialing, and the period I have to paint is between 7-ish, 7:30-ish. Depends on when I get in here. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's like later, but yeah, somewhere between 7 and 8. That's usually the time I'm in here painting, and then from 8 till about 11, sometimes 10:30, dependent how I feel and things like that. So that's like up to 3-ish hours, so 8, 9, 10, 11, up to 9, 10, 11, yeah, up to about 3-ish hours of me creating, painting. Obviously doing other stuff as well, like if I need to put a video on YouTube, or get a video ready to be exported, or whatever I need to do, social media stuff, sharing my videos, things like that. Those got to fit in those 3 hours as well. Sometimes a little bit of gaming. I mean, it's good to have your personal time just to relax and chillax. I try not to do it too much as well, I know we're definitely doing too much, of that and less of this. I should be creating my work. But just a bit of gaming. Sometimes I usually once I'm in here, I do just like half an hour to an hour of gaming. 20, it depends, like usually not an hour, probably like 20-ish minutes or something, to half an hour, sometimes an hour, depends on how I feel. And then the 2 hours after that is pretty much full illustration. But yeah, it all depends. Sometimes I'm like that. I do start from when I get in here, I'm painting, and yeah, I just paint the whole night through. Some nights I get distracted. Like the other night, I actually changed some things around. Like on my YouTube channel, you can see that you might have known my old channel. You can see that I've changed the not the thumbnail, but the cover art. I've changed the cover art, and I decided to change the cover art on like most of my social medias, like ArtStation and Facebook and things like that. So it took me like an hour, 2 hours or something to do that. I was just playing around and being like, well, I need to change this. This is getting old, and I feel like it needs an update. It's getting there, that it's getting a bit old. So I was like, yeah. So I changed it, and those little things help. I do those little things just to help my channel to see, it does work better. People respond better to it, or anything like that. If it feels like a better channel, like on my YouTube channel, it feels a little better, works together with what my videos look like now, like the thumbnails. It does fit better than with all those, they're floating D's before that, so it kind of didn't all fit together. Now it looks like it actually fits together a little bit. You know, with my cover art, I had, for my YouTube channel, I had just like 2 images. So in a traditional and a digital piece, so it kind of didn't really work too well. But now I kind of have a background of the Photoshop that I usually do, because I mainly do digital painting on here. There are some traditional pieces, and possibly I might be doing some traditional pieces in the future at some point. Don't quote me on that. At some point, these are ambitions as well. I don't know if I'll be able to. But one day I definitely want to do some traditional pieces, recorded and everything. But we'll see how that goes. May be able to one day. Maybe not. Not for a long time, definitely. But one day I would love to do some more traditional pieces that are recorded as well. I would love to do like a color pencil piece that's recorded. I want to try doing some color pieces where you like mix the tones in with a like a fabric softener, not fabric softener, like an oil based thing, like smears color pencil together, and yeah, you can layer it up with it as well. Obviously you got to have like thicker paper or card or something than what I usually use, obviously, so that it doesn't break the paper. But yeah, you can use that. So I want to try that too. Just seeing an artist that does it, it's like, oh my gosh, I try this. I'd like to try it one day with color pencil, because it'll feel a little bit like painting, I reckon. But we have to see. I want to try all of these things, but for now I just mainly digitally paint. It's easier to record it. It's easier to kind of just set up and paint. If I had to record traditional pieces, it would never work, because one, I've got to get the lighting right every day. So that's not happening, because I'm at night time, I'm working. I may be able to get the lights positioned in the right way or something, to be able to do it. Have lights all around me, but then I'd have to like work out lighting systems, and it might annoy my space too. Like, I might have to every day move a lamp, get the camera ready, get everything out, get all my pencils or paints or whatever, get those ready every day, at night. Where with digital painting, all I have to do is like turn my computer on, open Photoshop, set it up like this, and then paint and start recording. I'm off. I don't have to like change brushes, change paints, mix paints, or find color pencils, color with color pencils. I do have to start recording when I'm painting, but there's not like a lot of stuff to do. It just makes it so much easier to digitally paint, and it's kind of why I do it. It's one kind of big reason why I digitally paint rather than any other medium at the moment. I'd love to trial and do more mediums and things like that, and get like traditionally to work. But I mean, I'm happy with what I'm doing anyway. I'm happy with creating these pieces, these artworks. Obviously, because it's a big project, I've got to keep going at it, to get it finished. I've already kind of laid out every page. I've pretty much got in the text there. It's not fully finished. The characters are looking good. I'm going back and revisiting pages now, as you're seeing. Page 5 here. And I've got to take breaks every now and again. You know, I'm creating something else on the side every now and again. Like you've seen me do pugs, again, because I love pugs. And you know, doing other stuff as well. Doing creatures. I'm creating a creature at the moment that you guys will see in the little future, like in a couple weeks time. And then you'll see me go back and do more pages. There are definitely not too many to go, probably because the last few pages don't need too many tweaks. Because each page I kind of got better and better with each page. So by the end of it, you know, the end page is kind of the final result in a way, and that's how things have worked out. Now I'm going back to the first page, fixing those up and things like that. But yeah, you know, it is, you know, what I was saying before, you know, me working when I'm tired is hard to get through, and things like that. But yeah, you've got to have something to drive you through it. For me, you know, it's been with course per se, you know, when I was tired and doing that, it was definitely, you know, passing the course, getting to, you know, this, me not passing the course would mean a fail, failing at doing this, doing illustration and being an illustrator. Basically that's what it meant for me, you know, and keeping things up. These days, for me, what keeps me going is basically knowing that there's going to be, you know, an end somewhere that's a brighter kind of future to it too, because I know that once I finish this book, I can then, you know, go and print it and publish it and see, you know, if anything happens with it. So it could lead to a little bit of a brighter future, kind of a thing. So that's, you know, that's what keeps me going. And also the fact that I love to see what's happening. You know, I love to do these things. There's so much things I want to do, and sometimes I draw things like a creature or design or something, and I'm like, I really want to see what this is painted like. Or with my pugs, I can't stop myself, and it's like I want to create a pug as Iron Man or as blah blah blah, or I want to create this creature that's half dog, half, you know, I can't stop myself. I just got to create it. That's mainly what keeps me going. Sometimes it's like, and also having this YouTube channel on my back as well. You know, if I didn't keep on painting, keeping on creating, I would not, you know, I'll probably, you know, without this YouTube channel, I'll probably be less productive per se. You know, it's good to have this channel with me to, you know, keep me going. Each video gets better and better, with one my chatting and one with yeah, the way I present it, the recording, the artwork, blah blah blah, the artists I have in, everything just slowly builds up over time. You know, if I look back to where I kind of started, there's probably a lot of me saying all like all the time, and not kind of thinking about where to guide the conversation per se. You know, it just kind of struggled a lot basically. Maybe, you know, I guess there was something there. Um, there were some good videos out of it, and I did, you know, try my best back then. But now I've know so much more. I've talked with so many artists. It's been awesome. Um, and yeah, learning how to guide conversations as well a little bit better. It's always hard, especially sometimes when you're tired. You know, you just want to yawn or something. Or you know, your brain kind of gets tired, and you get up early in the morning and you're trying to guide a conversation, and you lost your thought, and then it's like, oh no, where do I go from here? What do I say? You know, like to keep the conversation alive. It's always struggles and things like that. So that's another thing is like when you have to get up early, or um, yeah, you may have to for some reason get up early to paint. I've had to do that in the past where I've gotten up early to paint before work. I don't have to do that now, but it was the best time for me to do it a couple of months back, really. Now it's kind of this time, like at night, I kind of do a little bit of illustration. In the morning, I kind of do maybe a little bit of things that might help, like maybe a couple of, like, I might have to put my video up on YouTube or get my video exported or things like that that can help me with this time, that I can be like, well, get this stuff done in the morning, and then I get 3 hours to do a little bit more illustration with, rather than have to stop illustration and do my YouTube stuff and then continue illustrating. Obviously, there's other things in those 3 hours that I have to do, like pay the bills and all those other life stuff that I have to do. But yeah, those are kind of my times that I do get to illustrate, and sometimes do dishes and things like that, chores and stuff like that that chews it up. I also get weekends. With weekends though, it's not so I would say it's not kind of guaranteed. With some weekends I have people visiting, um, usually not for too long, so I still get some painting done, things like that. But sometimes I have people visiting or events on, or we need to go do something, like go get the groceries, or blah blah blah, other things. Having a child as well, have to deal with her most of the day, or something like that. So there's no guarantees that between this time and that time ish, I will get to paint. It's not until usually Bubba's asleep that I officially get to paint and create stuff. I do get to paint and create a little bit during the day while she's up, but not fully a lot, because sometimes she wants me all the time. So having fun and playing, and just sometimes taking her to the park, or those kind of things during the weekend, that I don't get to do during the week. It's always great to do, and it's the same for me. Like, it makes me feel good to take her to the park, as well. It's the same to go for a walk or something. It's good, it's good to get out and do something. And just get the house for a little bit. Just tiki tour, or just do something different as well. Just doing those little things. It's great to have her around, and she distracts me. It's great. So yeah, but yeah, sometimes she tires me out as well. Doing big walks, and in fun park and all that other stuff, and getting home from work and then dealing with baby. Sometimes it does kind of tire out. So it does get hard when I sit on my desk to actually get to painting. But sometimes it's just opening up Photoshop and getting everything ready for when it does be like, oh, I feel like painting now. It's there, and it's boom. I start painting, and I paint until it's like, oh well, I want to break down. As long as it's up and it's ready to go, I can basically set it up and everything like that, and just have it there. That's another thing about digital as well. You can have it all set up and ready to go, roaring, and it can just sit there for a little bit. It's kind of good and bad thing, I suppose, because it's sitting there. It could sit there basically all day, and you wouldn't do anything about it. And with traditional, so usually what you want to do is set up, and then when you're finished, put it away, because you know you don't want dust getting on your work. You don't want it sitting there and then someone comes along and you know taps all over it or something like that, or puts something you don't want there on it, or um, you know, some fly flies into the piece, or you know, all anything could happen to it. So you got to cover it or something like that while you're not doing it. So you've got to put it away. And also it might be wet, so you know someone might touch it if it's you know wet paints or something like that. So you can't kind of set it up and your paints everywhere. You know, you might come back to it and do a little bit on it, and then your paint's dry on the canvas and you wanted to keep it wet. You know, with digital you can just start and stop whenever you want, and you don't have to worry about dry times or anything like that. So that's you know another good thing about it. Yeah, but there are you know good things about traditional as well. So I might get into that in another video as well. I've got a few things that I mentioned here that I might have in another video. So yeah, you know, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I chatted a little bit about, you know, using your time, obviously, about, you know, getting through the day, painting and illustrating when you're tired, you know, and dealing with general life while you're trying to get your illustration or creative career on track and things like that. So hopefully you did learn from it. You know, definitely feel free to mention anything down in the comments you'd like to add, or anything you think I have said that you liked, or anything. I appreciate it if you do. Don't forget to like, share, to subscribe as you do. And yeah, you know, we'll see you in the next video. So have a good one. Goodbye.